Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Eddie here, Eddie Makes Art, and today I'm going to do some watercolor painting. First I'll introduce to you what products I'm using, and also a couple of other little things, and then this music. This video will probably be music over me painting because I just think for me it's easier that way. But let's see how far I can go with the whole talking and painting at the same time thing. That's a difficult one for me. But so I'm using the Hippie Crafter watercolor pencils. They come in this beautiful tin that I can't open because I just put lotion on my hands, which, anyway, with their cool little hippie sign, or peace sign rather. My little swatches of the different colors in the box. There's a lot. Beautiful colors. There's 3 layers of these. So, and then I have my other regular watercolors as far as like out of the tubes. And then I have this set here. So I'll be dipping into all of these. I want to try and do something where I'm using both pencils and the regular watercolors. So, that's my goal. We'll see how far we get. And I'm using, let me set this over here, some watercolor paper. This is their Hippie Crafters watercolor paper. It's a premium paper. It's acid free. Believe it's a cotton blend mix. Because it has a nice weight, but it's not too thick. And it also has a nice texture to it, which you can kind of see there in this paint puddle there that they have on the cover. And these are great. These come in a set of 2. It's 9 by 12, and there's 30 sheets in a pack, and they come in 2 in a pack. And for either of these products or anything from Hippie Crafter, if you go to their website, hippiecrafter.com, and you use the code HIPPIE10, let them know I sent you, and you get 10% off on your first order. How great is that? So check them out. All that info is in the description box in the video below. So no worries. Everything will be there for you. And what I did was I took one of my gel plates off its plexi, and I'm going to use that to keep my paper down, and use a little painter's tape to set it down, create myself a little border, but also it's to hold the paper in place. Now, I have not done a full-scale painting on this paper. So that's another thing I'm gonna kind of check out today to see how well this paper holds up to layers and stuff, and a lot of water. We'll see. I may have to come in and use the hair dryer. Not the hair dryer. I used to use the hair dryer. The heat gun. Sometimes just to speed things up a little bit. Because I, like many other artists, I'm impatient, and I want stuff done yesterday. So that's the goal. And this sheet of 9 by 12, I cut off 1 inch from here so it would fit on my plate that I have here, in case you're wondering. And so I've got this little extra strip, and we can use that to swatch out colors as we go along. So there we are. And again, this is just painter's tape. So it should remove easily. And I think I've used it before on this paper, and it does come off easily. And then nothing, you'll have a nice white border all around your painting, and you won't get any, you shouldn't get any seepage under the tape, as long as you do this correctly. And we set that to the side. I can set this to the side, because, I'm always saying I ain't got no space, I need room to groove. Okay, and, got a nice cup of tea here with my honey spoon. They're great. Put your honey on there and just let it hang. I love this. I've had this for years, at least since 2000, maybe like 2002. I love that thing. Yeah, so today I'm drinking a little Darjeeling tea. It's black tea. It's just really nice, and not super strong, but it's got a nice flavor to it. So that's what I'm gonna enjoy today while I'm painting. So hello everybody out there. I should have said that first. I'm glad that you stopped by to watch me paint. So, I think because it's so cold out right now, I'm really longing for the beach. I'm longing for tropical weather. So I think I'm going to I'm going to paint like a beach scene, landscape, ocean type thing, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to do that. I haven't done that in a while. Yes, my watercoloring is a little bit rusty, but I think once I start doing it, I'll get right back into it. And that's why sometimes, that's why I said earlier, I may just do music over while I'm painting, because I get like super quiet and just very pensive and very just into this right here. And so yeah, there's no more room in my head for other stuff. But yeah, so let's get started. Here's a selection of brushes. I'm not going to use all of them, but this is some of the different brushes that I use. Like this is from the silver black velvet collection. These red ones are Princeton Velvet Touch. Oops. And then these blue ones are also Princeton. They are, I believe, Select collection, but they are on the lower end scale of the stuff, of the Princeton brushes. This is a Neptune script brush from Princeton. Really cool. What are some of the other ones? I think this is the other one. This I actually got free. I think it was an order from Jerry's Artorama, and I got the brush for free. But it's a really nice brush, and I like the long handle on it. And it's got my favorite color on it, blue. Look at that. I match perfectly with that. How great is that? All right, so like I said, I'm not using all those brushes. I just wanted to show you kind of the types of brushes that I use. Oh, I didn't show you this one. Oh, look at these. I got a mini fan, and then this one. This is from Ebony Splendor Fan Brush Creative Mark. I don't remember where I got this one, but I think it was also Jerry's Artorama. Really nice. It's a synthetic. And then this is the Princeton Velvet Touch Fan, 10-0. I say 10-0 because that's how they categorize their brushes. All right, and this cute one. This is a round brush, number 0. So for very small detail work. And then this is the wash brush, a 3/4 inch from Velvet Touch, Princeton. It's a beautiful handle. And then this part is great because you can do markings, on your paper, anything like that. So that's very cool, and it holds up really well. So this I use a lot for wetting the paper, doing washes on larger areas, and that sort of thing. Okay, so usually what I do is I kind of break up the paper into different areas. So I'm just going to use a light touch of the pencil, and let's see here. So I think our sky is there, and then we got our ocean in the middle, and then here is the sand or the coastline. Let me think. And then maybe off over here, there's a landmass. It might have some trees. And what else? I think for now, I think that's a good place to start. And then as I go, I'll fill in more details if I find it necessary. And as always, 2 containers of water, one to clean your brush and one for your fresh water to paint with. So let's see. Got different blues here. I want to start with the sky. So let's see here. I'm going to do a little swatching on here. This is sky blue. Okay. There is, this is gray. Sometimes I use a gray or something to help with, if I put in clouds, it gives it, you can do a shadow. Let's see. I'm not doing the sky too dark. This is a turkey green light. And if you watch the video where I demonstrated these for the first time, some of the colors marked on the pencils don't necessarily correlate to the color of the pencil, but this one is pretty close. There's only maybe like 3 or 4 that are like that in the set, and I think that's just, you know, a manufacturing glitch. But this is turkey green light. It looks like a blue, but you can see here it's got nice greenish tone in there. Very, very tropical feel. But I don't want to do green in the sky. I'm going to save that for the water. And this is ocean blue. There we are. That's nice. What do we have here? This is cobalt. And I'm leaning towards that for the sky with maybe, let's see, what's this one? Ultramarine. This is lavender deep. Sorry, my pencil looks blue, but it's a lavender deep. This is cerulean, and that maybe I'll work with, do the sky with that and the cobalt. So I'm just gonna start there. And let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna get this brush here. This is my Black Velvet Silver Brush number 10. I need some tea though. The heating in here makes me so dry. I wanted to show you this. I hope I can get a good shot without spilling my tea, but this mug was made by a former employee. I worked in a home decor sort of like furniture store in Boca Raton, Florida, in a really nice high-end type of open air mall, which escapes my mind right now, but she was a part-timer. Her name was Lorena. I still remember that. She put her initials in here. I think they're on the bottom. I remember there being initials. I think they were on the bottom. Yeah. But her name was Lorena, and she was taking a pottery class in school at the time. And so she made me this mug. Isn't that adorable? It's like wonderful. And again, I've had this since like, I want to say like 2002, 2003. Yeah, it's wonderful. My color blue. Look at that. The theme today is blue, guys. Not blue guys, but blue guys. Yeah. Comma. Okay, so let's start All right, so we got a little, got some blue in the sky there, but we need it deeper. Let's try one of my regular watercolors. And I do not have names right now. I apologize. We're just going to go with what's here on my plate. All right, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute, and then I'm gonna come down here and focus on the sand. So I had to check that I'm still in shot here. So for the sand, we could, here. I like to use a yellow ochre. Here it is. Yellow ochre deep. Ah, I knew it. So this is the yellow ochre. Then we have the yellow ochre deep. That's nice. Let me just give it a little water here and see how they blend. Very nicely. I may have had still some blue on there. I like to wash that out better. Some of these beachy colors that I use. So like this is my yellow ochre. This yellow, this is a quinacridone gold, I believe. Just want to show you what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful color? Wonderful. But I don't think I'm using that. Do you want to use some of this, these browns here? Yeah, I don't have names for these, to be honest. I just use them browns. I'll just use this to mix. Maybe add a little bit of yellow. This paper is holding up very well. I saw a review for this paper. I think it was on Amazon, and it was like, oh, this paper buckles, you know, in the wet and wet technique. And honestly, this is performing as good as some of the premium paper that I use. So, yeah. I think it also matters how much water you're using. If you're using way too much water, it's gonna buckle. I don't care what kind of paper you're using, it's gonna buckle a little bit. So keep that in mind when you are, you know, trying doing the wet and wet technique. It's a lot of watercolor is in the name, it's water. It's the control of the amount of water and pigment that you use to create your painting. Tea time. But like I said, start light and then you can build up your colors. Unless you're bold and you're going to go right in for that dark color, go for it. But I like to build the different shades, and it kind of gives it a better, more interesting look, more dimension, I guess is the right word. Let me let this just chill for a little bit. The sky is still a little damp, so I'm going to give that just a moment. And let's do the water. I like this turkey green. There's some phthalo green. Okay, got those two. And what do we have here? Turkey green light. And maybe some ultramarine. We'll mix it up here, okay? So just so you know, that's the turkey green. This is the phthalo green. Here's the turkey green light. We use the cerulean in the sky and some sky blue. No, we use the cobalt in the sky. That's that right there. Here's the ultramarine blue. There's a gray blue too that we may use for, you know, adding some dimension to the water. But let's see how it goes. I want to try and go more emeraldy almost. So where's that? My greens here. My emerald. Maybe Viridian. Let me see what I have. This is neon, emerald green light. And is this the green medium, green light, sap green? Thought I had a Viridian, I could be wrong. Hooker green, is that the one I want? The hooker's green? Let's see here, let's check our chart. Oh yeah, no, there's no Viridian, I apologize. So, I think it's the hooker's green I was thinking of, because this kind of has, this has some blue tones in it. All right, so let me pick out my hooker green. Let's start there, and then we can go from there. Let me just get these pencils out of the way. I'm going to use my wash brush here. This has a nice, you see that, a straight edge. So it's good to do stuff like this. Straighten out your mistakes, Eddie. And I'm not putting a lot of water on my brush. I'm just using enough to work on a little bit here and there, so I'm not drowning this ocean out. I'm not saturating the paper so much because it doesn't need to be right now for what I'm doing. And if you're not sure what colors to use for the ocean, Google a photo. Google a photo and use that as your inspiration. Look at what I did. Oh boy, Eddie. Let's see if I can lift some of that without messing up the paint underneath. Look at that, like a pro, huh? Yeah, find it an image that you like and just kind of, go off of that. I'll do that sometimes. I lived in Florida for a while, so I kind of have that idea of the tropical ocean and the vibe. If circumstances were better, I would definitely still be living there. However, I'm up in the cold weather. So sad. So I'm going to use a little water here just to kind of bring this down a little closer. But you can see I'm not going completely like dark. I just want to kind of blend it a little bit. And you see that straight edge really helps you get around these curves, believe it or not. You see how I'm moving the brush to kind of work around these round edges, round areas, the shoreline. Let's come back in here. But you know what? I think while it's wet, let me take some more pencil and go in it here. Let's try some cerulean here. I'm just going to dip my pencil in the water just to get it going. And let's see here. If you hear noise in the background, that's just my brother. He's cleaning something. I think he's making chicken, not thighs, the chicken, like drumsticks tonight. Yeah. Times are rough, so we get the cheapest meat we can find at the grocery store. But that's okay, because I love chicken. Last night we had some nice pasta with meat sauce. That was good. Not as good as mine, because I do make a really nice one, but I've taught him enough where he can do it on his own and it comes out pretty good. And he's one of those people, he does ask a lot of questions, like, how about this? Or, when I'm doing this, which is good, because that's how you learn. So, yeah. Got to teach him, Even though he's 8 years older than me. I'm like, dude, come on, you should know how to do this already. Okay, but see, growing up, Mom did all the cooking. She did all the cooking. And, we had a lot of aunts and uncles, and our aunts always made, food for us and stuff, like, when we go over or we have special events. So, we had a lot of good family meals, and a lot of good cooks in our family. And, like, I learned a lot from my mom as far as using what you've got in the cupboard. Because yeah, sometimes, you know, you don't have much, or you just didn't get a chance to go to the store and you got to make dinner, and you go, okay, what do I got? A, B, and C. Let's see what we can make with A, B, and C. And so yeah, so that's how I learned a lot of my cooking skill. That and Julia Child. I remember watching Julia Child on PBS all the time. It was Julia Child and Bob Ross painting. So yeah, I loved that stuff. When I was a kid, I'd sit there for hours and watch. Now, when I was in culinary school, I had a class that was like an international cooking class. And so you cook things from all over the world. Basic stuff, nothing, you know, super fancy, but you learn some good techniques and how to use stuff that you don't normally use, like at home, you know. And I loved my professor there, and I please forgive me, I don't remember her name, but she was so funny. I'm cooking one day, and she started tasting my food, and she says, you know, please don't take this the wrong way. I said, hit me. I don't care. I've heard worse. She said, you cook like a French housewife, which I laughed at, and I was like, what does that mean? And she says, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, and voila, you've got something. And I treasure that compliment. I treasure that criticism, because I think it's one of the highest compliments you can give somebody who cooks. That you cook, you don't always have to, I don't always have to measure everything. You cook by feeling, you cook by, with your soul, you know? And when you cook with your soul and you cook with love, it's going to be good. Unless, you know, you don't cook the chicken all the way, then you got other issues. Oh, we had kids in class that, God love them, but they did not know how to cook chicken. I'm like, or pork. That's something that you got to be spot on with, is when you're making pork, especially, you know, for customers and stuff. This is just some bluish paint, some little greenish paint here. I'm taking off my other palette. And see, I'm just going sideways. Nothing fancy here. It's a little sideways action. I do want to darken this up a bit. Let me see what I have over here that might work. That's a sap green. This is green yellow, but I don't know if that'll work here. It's 2 on the brown side, so we're not going to use that, but it's a beautiful color. I think it's a quinacridone. Not sure. Here, ooh. This is nice. This is, I want to say it's a teal or turquoise by Holbein or Holbein. So let me get some of that going on here and see what we can do. Oh yeah. That darkened it up nicely. Not too dark, just enough that it gives you, here, I'm just gonna bring it over here. Gives you a little more definition. Again, just slightly going back and forth or side to side. There we go, got some space here to groove. This little blue here. That's a darker blue, but it makes a nice oceany color. Put it on some paper so you can see. Isn't that beautiful? Really, really nice. Okay. Drop some in here, drop some in here. One of my cats is in a box that I've packed, and it's stacked up over by my radiator. And I guess she was cold because she is on top of that box. She made herself a little nest in there. And she is sleeping like a baby. I love it. Cats are smart. They know where to find the heat. Yeah, we woke up to a super cold day today. It's still pretty cold, but not as cold as it was earlier. I was trying to make this video earlier this morning before the PM Artist Studio live stream. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I was literally shivering over here because my windows are drafty. You know, old house drafty. So this is a turquoise here. That's what that is, yeah. And so, yeah, I bundled up and I said, you know what, I'm just going to wait till later, till there's more sun and I can do something without shaking. I'll bring in the sides here a little bit. Okay, and maybe a little bit of pencil. Let's see if we can get some pencil going over here. This is the ultramarine, yes, ultramarine. Bring some of that in here. Again, I just dip my pencil in the water. And the texture's fine, nothing wrong with that. I mean, unless you want everything to be nice and smooth, that's your choice, absolutely. If you want to do it that way. And when I started watercoloring, before I started watercoloring, I watched so many talented watercolor artists on YouTube who are still doing their thing, and kind of just like pick and chose my techniques, I guess you call them, and just basically, let's see if I can get this to melt on here. And, you know, just basically took a little from here, a little from there, just like in my cooking, and put it together and created that. I really, you know, when I say I'm not trained, I am not trained whatsoever. I am self-taught. I would love to have gone to art school, but I went to Emerson College, and that was for radio and television production. Mind you, during that time, I met somebody who I ended up staying with for like 10 years. We're practically married. And so I didn't finish that school. I mean, I went to college literally right after high school. I moved into the dorms, even though, you know, it's still in Boston, but I wanted to experience the dorm life and be more independent. And it was great. It was fun. But, you know, love is a pesky thing that will make you a little not so bright in the head. So, but I had a great experience there. So definitely a great school. Fun fact, that is where the creators of Will and Grace, the TV show, that's where they met, here in Boston. And who else? I know that Sofia Vergara from Modern Family, her son attended Emerson College. I was actually in school, when I was in school, Meatloaf's daughter was also in school, Meatloaf the singer. He came to town to do autograph signing, so I got to meet him. So that was cool. I'll have to dig up my autograph CD one of these days. And who else? I mean, I didn't know really anybody that was famous or had famous parents. The kids, like, they were just themselves, really. And the people I hung out with were just, you know, regular kids and doing the college thing. But it was a great experience. You hear the fire truck nearby? It sounds like it's slowing down, so there's something going on. I'm such a nosy busybody. Although I can see the moon. And it's daylight out. I can see the moon though. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry completely and then I'll come back and finish up. Okay, so this is sufficiently dried. And yeah, so about that fire, unfortunately, my brother's friend Justin, my friend too, I guess, his roof is on fire, which is terrible. And it doesn't, like, there's no flames shooting out, there's just smoke right now, but let's hope they caught it in time where it doesn't, you know, pose a big problem, because it's too cold for that nonsense. They're good people too. He helps us like do like shoveling and landscaping stuff. He comes over and give him a few bucks and he helps us out. Or my brother applying with some whiskey or something. I don't know. They're weird, but yeah, very, very good people. The entire family. So this is what I'm gonna do right now. Let me just clean up some of these spaces so I got some room to get other colors, just in case I need a little room. So I just want to darken up the sky just a little bit and kind of yeah. So here's the thing, let's find a color. Yeah, these are all the blues I pulled out that I've used so far, I think, are here. Yeah. And this ultramarine. No, I'm not going to use that. Let's see. Let me try a little more cobalt blue. I'm just trying to get a little more bluish in the sky. And like I said, this is already dry, so I'm just penciling over dry paper. Well, the good thing is when something happens in this neighborhood, it's a pretty tight neighborhood. As far as the OGs that have been here for forever, like, we're one of a handful of families, maybe less, that have lived on this particular street for at least 44 years or more. So a lot of us, you know, we know each other and we look out for each other's places and stuff like that. So, you know, there's always help. Yeah, then we'll fill in the little landmass there. maybe do a little trees. I'll use my little tiny brush. And we'll make some palm trees or something. And I'm going to add detail to the beach, to the sand. Add a little bit of darker spots just to kind of give it more texture. Put in some, maybe use some sepia and create some, like, you know, you get random pieces of wood on the beach, like driftwood or just wood that falls off the palm trees, you know, like little bits and pieces, or whatever trees are around the beach. So where's, you know, let's do, let me just take a look at this. This here. There is the ultramarine blue light. Where's that one? No. Maybe it's one of these. They give you a good selection of blues in this Hippie Crafter watercolor pencil set. There it is. Like you see here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 8. And then you've got half this side, pretty much. So, good selection of colors. I highly recommend them because they're just, like I said, there's a varied amount of color. So if you're beginning, it's great because you don't have to think about creating colors. But as you go along, learning more, it's important that you learn the color wheel, what goes with what colors create what other colors, and that's when your playtime comes in. Because so when you go to sit down and do a project, you have already, you know, thought it out and experimented, so it's easier. Okay, let me get my, where's me fat brush? That's one, I like this one, the number 10 in the silver black velvet. Let's get you wet. Take a little bit of that off. You see it's not dripping water. These hold a lot of water, these bristles. I believe these are natural. I bought them so long ago, I can't remember. But yeah, it's a wonderful brush. A line of brushes. They have other ones too, like, of course, like all the other, you know, brush companies, but these are fantastic. And the other thing I love about these is they come to a nice point. And I saw on Instagram one of, she works for the company. I don't remember her position. I'm sorry, but she had a great tip for when your bristles are not held together well enough. Let's say this one kind of, if it looks like that, take your tea kettle, boil up some water, and then you dip the bristles into the boiling water real quick, and it brings it all back to the nice shape. So don't ever trim your brushes, your silver brushes, this brand. Just dip them in some boiling water and they will come back to life. Okay, well, the sky is drying a little bit. I'm going to start working again on the sand. And let's see. Get these pencils over here. What do I have here? That's my darker yellow ochre. Some raw sienna, burnt sienna. These two here are sepia and burnt umber. Okay, let me put these back in here. And let's do some swatchy. So what I like to do is, like I said earlier, is just add bits and pieces here of dark, because it's like, you know, your little pieces of driftwood, or you know, the what comes off the coconuts, that outer fibrous skin, you know, when it dries up, that stuff will land on the beach and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna get some colors that I can work together. Let's see. So far. All right, so let's see here. Where's my little sprayer? I'm just gonna take a little water here, my brush, some water on here. Let's see if I can get some of this activated. See, I'm pretty sure there's a palette out there that has ridges in it, in the little sections, that help you dissolve your pencil in the water. I just don't have one, so I'm doing what I do. That's not gonna work because that's just really light, but I got my pencil wet, so let's add some stuff here. Let's see. Just gives me a little more control. This is the number 4 round from Princeton, Velvet Touch. The handle on these, oh my God, they are so yummy. They're very nice, very comfortable to hold. So I'm just extending out some of this, you know, maybe pulling some out, creating a little shadow. And I like how that ocean's turned out. Very, very inviting, I want to say, but also just like it's got like a lot of layers, and but it all works together, and there's still some bright spots in there. I didn't cover up all the white, so that's a good thing. So I think we can move here to the mound. I'm just gonna get a little bigger brush. This is a good one too. This is the number 8 long round, because you see the bristles are much longer than on this one. Yeah, that's these 2 rounds, and then like, what do you call it? This one too. This is the number 0, which I could definitely use to do little details, like here on the beach. I may use that to do my palm trees way back here. But first, let's rock this one out. Now, another technique I've used to create a more interesting, beach is the splatter technique. And you want something that creates small splatters, and you can do that, on the beach, and it gives it that sandy, grainy look too. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go up here to our little land mass, our little island in the stream. So I have this here. This is my sepia from a tube. It's very dark. See? Very dark. I'm going to add some of this green, yellow, and then maybe some of this blue. And let's start. I'm just going to go right in. Okay, so what I did here is I went a little too tall and too much with these little tree things, so I'm going to just kind of bring that, make it a little bit bigger. See? No harm, no foul. And let's take this smaller brush again. I'm going to go into this little green here. Maybe add some of this blue that's already on the palette. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I like it where it is. I may come back and add maybe a little thing here or there, but I think for one sitting in one video, I think it's a pretty good job. I'm gonna leave this on because, like I said, I may come in and do a little bit more, but I may not. But there'll be a picture at the end of the video so you can see the completed painting. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And don't forget that your first purchase at Hippie Crafter, if you use my special discount code HIPPIE10, you'll get 10% off your first purchase. HippieCrafter.com. That's where I got my pencils. That's where I got this awesome paper. And tell them I sent you. That's what I meant to say. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys watching and hanging out with me and having a cup of tea. I will talk to you very soon. Thank you.